Okay. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. All right. Okay. Okay. Online people. Let's finish talking about the anatomy of the male reproductive system. Then we can end for the day. Right. So where did we stop? Did we finish talking about the testis? Testis is done, no? Inside out. සීතලයි. There's no remote නේද? ඉතින් ඔතන තාම සීතලයි තමයි. Can you run and tell the office? So this is for online people. I do my online classes through a website, right? That is called Guru Taru Online. Okay. So through that website, you have to go and register. I'll be putting the details, and through that website, you will be able to access the Zoom link as well as the tute will be delivered. You got remote? Okay. So through that website, they will do the tute delivery as well as the recordings will be available there. Free of charge. The tute is free of charge and also the delivery is free of charge. So that is for online people, right? So yeah. So next week also, I plan to do the session as a free class, as a final free class, right? So you can join and yeah. So next week I plan to start the female reproductive system, right? Okay. So we finished talking about okay. So we finished talking about the testis. Any questions about the testis? The composition, very important anatomical part, right? The male gonad is very sensitive, right? I mean, sorry, very complex, and it is also very, let's say, susceptible to damage, right? You know, because of this outside position, very susceptible to damage. And also there's a surgical emergency. So this the vas deferens that is going up like this, that contains the blood vessels, right? Suddenly it can become twisted like this, right? Right? Due to sort of physical trauma. Sports the boys right? It's called testicular torsion, right? Go and search. It's called testicular torsion, and it's a medical emergency, right? If someone comes to our, let's say, emergency department with a testicular torsion, we are immediately taking him to the theater. Why? More than, let's say, few minutes of this testicular torsion can cut the blood supply completely to the testis, and that can cause testicular necrosis. What is necrosis? Death. Right? The testis is going to die. So the entire testicle will sometimes die, and that is going to reduce the fertility. If something happens to the other one, then completely infertile, right? So that is something called testicular torsion. That is because the testes are located outside during sports. They say rugby, and also if these balls are hitting, right? So cricket, even in cricket, there can be trauma, right? Just in normal life also, it just like what do you say, idiopathically. Okay, it can happen torsion, right? It can undergo torsion. Just something interesting. Okay. Okay. So sum up, we have two types of cells that are the Leydig cells or interstitial secreting testosterone, and supportive cells Sertoli secreting inhibin. Right? Those are MCQ points. Right? Moving on to our this structure that is sort of located let's say back behind and top of the testis. That is called epididymis, right? So what is epididymis? It's a tightly packed mass that is formed by the repeatedly folded long duct originated from combined seminiferous tubules in the testis, right? Okay. So from the seminiferous tubules, the sperm passes to the epididymis. Since it is very long, about 6 meters in length, it takes about 3 weeks for the sperm to travel the length of this duct. Can you see in the tube diagram? You can see how convoluted this duct is, right? So what is epididymis? Is it actually a mass? Even though we draw it like a mass, it's not a mass. It's a very tightly convoluted body of composed of tubes, right? The duct, right? So they say it's about 6 meters. I don't think it's 6 meters. Could be 6 meters, right? Why is it so long? Because it's what I told you. Epididymis is like a training camp for sperm, right? So when the sperms are going through this epididymis, it's going to get a good training. What is the training needed for the sperm? So sperms are here, no? So seminiferous tubule these are like baby sperms. Imagine these are like baby sperms. They don't know anything. So whenever they will be deposited in the female reproductive system, they don't know what to do, right? They need to get the ability to move very fast. Motility එක හදාගන්න. Then I told you around the female egg there is a protective layer, no? So they have to drill through this protective layer. So to drill through that, they require, let's say, some tools. There are some tools in the head of the sperm, right? So next we are going to talk about the sperm in itself, right? So in the head of the sperm, right, there's a cap that contains some chemicals that are going to help to get through this outer wall of the egg. So all those features are given to the sperm in this epididymis training camp. Okay, that's why it's so long, and that's why the sperm has to stay about 3 weeks to travel the length of this duct. During this time, the sperms become mature and motile. The mature sperms are stored within epididymis until ejaculation. Yes, other than the training function, right, making them more mature and motile, it has a storage function as well. Because of the length, they can store a lot of sperm, right? Epididymis. Okay. Which difference ejaculatory duct, urethra, and the penis? Okay. So this first difference is what? Take sperm from the testis to then to the through the prostate into the urethra. So in the urethra, it's going to be ejaculated outside. What is ejaculation? So there's two things in male reproductive action, right? Something we call as erection, right? That means the penis, which is normally sort of flaccid, no? That is pannatunati. So that is the first part, erection. Erection is given by what nervous system? Controlled by what nervous system? Erection කියන එක එන්නේ under the two parts of our autonomic nervous system. You haven't done it, no? You haven't done it. The also have the two parasympathetic, sympathetic කියලා දෙකක්. Also. You didn't learn. Oh, okay. Right. Anyway, so there's two things that males do in sexual activity. What is it? The first, the male penis becomes straight, no? Right? It becomes erect, right? That's the first thing. Why do we need to make it erect? It has to be inserted into the vagina. That is erection. So erection will be ended with an ejaculation. Ejaculation means the release of sperm plus there is a liquid, right? That is called what? Sperm plus there is a liquid. Altogether, that liquid with the sperm is called as semen. the semen will be released into the female reproductive system. That is ejaculation. Right? So both this erection and ejaculation are actually nervous, controlled by the nervous system. Okay, that you need to know. Right? After after we have discussed nervous system, I'll tell you how erection is done and how ejaculation is maintained. Coordinated. We can make connections. Okay. So vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, urethra, and penis. Right. So let's read a little bit. During ejaculation, sperm are propelled from each epididymis through a muscular duct, the vas deferens. Each vas deferens, one from each epididymis, extends around and behind the urinary bladder. Can you read me? Bladder etc. That is what they are saying. That is the pathway of the vas deferens. The road of the vas deferens. You have to be able to describe this. So, what is the path of the vas deferens? Extends around and behind the urinary bladder. Then they join a duct from the seminal vesicle, forming ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct opened into the urethra, which is the passageway for both urinary excretion and delivery of sperm in semen into the female reproductive tract. Right. I'll draw a small diagram for this. So what do you know? We have our bladder here, right? Bladder is like this. No? Bladder, right? Bladder, what do you have? Underneath the bladder, we have the urethra coming out. So the urethra is the passage for urine. No? So it's going to go like this and going to go through the penis into the outside. So the penis is here, right? There is penis. Okay. From here onwards, it's the penis, right? Okay. So this is the urine part, no? Urine and bladder. Okay. What is the sperm path? Sperm are coming from here. This is the testis. Sperm, this is the testis, and the vas deferens goes like this behind the bladder. This is our vas deferens, right? Behind our urinary bladder, what do we have? There's a seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle is one of the accessory glands. Air contribute to make the semen. So there's a small gland like this, seminal vesicle. So vas deferens ends there. Underneath the bladder, we have what? Prostate gland. Prostate gland. So this is our vas deferens. It combines with the seminal vesicle to form a common duct that is going to come through the prostate and open into the what? Urethra. We receive this part. This part where the seminal vesicle and the vas deferens combines is called what? Ejaculatory duct. So ejaculatory duct is interesting. So I told you this ejaculation is, why do you need ejaculation? You have to propel the sperm, semen into the female reproductive system, right? Vagina through cervix through right? So you need some speed, right? This semen must be like you have to shoot the semen, right? So to shoot that, this ejaculatory duct, around the ejaculatory duct, there are some smooth muscles. Ejaculatory duct wall itself has smooth muscles. So that smooth muscle is going to contract, and then sperm is already here, and seminal vesicle there are some secretions, and the prostate also has some secretions. Urethra right? That is the pathway of the semen. Okay, right? Right? So testis to up to here only sperm. Only sperm. මෙතනින් එහාට යන්නේ කවුද? Semen. Because why? This seminal vesicle and this prostate has produced a fluid. So sperm plus that fluid is called semen. Okay, following me, right? So this difference ejaculatory duct. So what do they say? It joins a duct from the seminal vesicle, forming a short ejaculatory duct. When we part ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct opens to the urethra, which is the passageway for both urinary excretion and delivery of sperm. Urethra runs through the penis, opens to the outside of the penis, at the tip of the penis, and the penis contains erectile tissues derived from modified veins and capillaries. Right? So, අපි නිකන් පොඩක් penis එක ගැන කතා කරොත් just for interest, right? If you take a cross section of the penis, it actually has three rooms. Okay, මෙහෙම compartments තුනක් තියෙනවා. Right? We have done this for dissections. Right? We have sliced penises, right? So the urethra is actually in the lower compartment. Nothing urethra. Okay. All these are, we can say they are rooms to fill blood. You can fill blood. Right? These are called corpus spongiosum. This is called corpus cavernosa, right? So all those can be filled with blood. Who is bringing the blood? There's a testicular artery and blood supply testis. So these testicular arteries are sort of inside. I'll tell you just for interest sake. So this is like the outside layer. Outside layer එකේ තියෙනවා the vein. What is vein? Vein එකක් කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය blood අරන් යන කෙනෙක් නේ. ගේන කෙනෙක් නෙවෙයි අරන් යන කෙනෙක්. අපිට කියන්නේ ශිරාවක් නේ. Right? So these arteries are bringing blood to the penis. So the penis is gradually becoming erect. Right? But when they තමයි erect වුනහම it is bigger, no? It is bigger, no? So the big වුනහම මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ these veins are going to be compressed. තද වෙනවා. So blood එනවා, blood can't go. So the penis gets filled with blood and it's going to stay erect. Right? That is what happens. Okay. The penis is going to get filled with blood, and because the veins that are taking blood away from the penis is getting compressed, it stays very rigid. Okay. So this is the urethra going through the penis. It's the same pathway for sperm as well. Right? Any questions? No? So that's what we mean by erectile tissues, modified veins and capillaries. So these arteries have capillaries that are modified. These capillaries are very leaky. Even blood leak. So that's why this gets filled with blood and it gets erect. Right? So if you stop a penis that is very erect, the person is going to lose a lot of blood. Why? The arteries are open and the veins that are going to take blood away are compressed. So blood is going to gush out. And also blood pressure is somewhat increased in this local area. The blood pressure is kind of increased. So like that. Any questions? What's difference? Ejaculate duct, urethra and penis. So that is completed. What can we do? Very first MCQ. Mature sperms in man are stored until ejaculation in the where? Online students, send me the answer. Mature sperms in man are stored until ejaculation in the where? Yes, what's the answer? Online people, I didn't get any answers. What answer? Yeah. Mature sperms are stored here, no? Sperm training camp again. That is epididymis. Alright. Okay. Uh, can we do hmm. Oh yeah. Next page. Next page, question number 45. Leydig cells. You know about Leydig cells. 2 minutes. What do you know about Leydig cells? Okay. What is the answer? Leydig cells. Still doing? Yeah. A and D. Okay. Right. See? Okay. You're following, right? A secrete testosterone. Yes, it's written in the board. Leydig cells secrete testosterone. Right. B. Produce the fluid required for transport of sperm. Any secretory function? No. Fluid හදන්නේ කවුද? I told you. මෙතන ඉන්නවා seminiferous tubule. Sorry. Seminal gland, seminal vesicle. Prostate is here. And මෙතන චූටි කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. I forgot to draw. එයාගේ ඇත්තටම there is not much of a role. මෙතන මෙහෙම කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා bulbourethral gland. Those are the three people involved in making the fluid, right? So there is no function of Leydig cells in producing the fluid. Nourish the cells in different stages of spermatogenesis. In front of it, who is the nourishing cell? Yes, Sertoli. Right. Sertoli provides support and ඔක්කොම නිකන් emotional support නිකන් මානසික උදව් කරන්නේ ඔක්කොම කරන්නේ the Sertoli cells. මෙයා ඉඳන් කරන්නේ testosterone හදන එක විතරයි. Right? Are located in the connective tissue among seminiferous tubules? Yes. So in the outer layer, no? So there's another seminiferous tubule sort of going, could be going very close to it. මෙහෙම තව එකක් යනවා පුළුවන්. So in between there also there is this interstitial cells, so Leydig cells, right? So Leydig cells are located in the connective tissue among the seminiferous tubules. E. Provide attachment for cells in different stages of spermatogenesis? No. That is again what? Sertoli. That is again Sertoli cells. So A and D, no? A and D. Yes. A and D is the answer. Okay. Right. I think we can take the introduction into spermatogenesis. No. Let's do some questions and do spermatogenesis next week. Neil. Okay. Right. This one, second sort of in the structure they say there's 1A. State the importance of locating testis outside the abdominal cavity in man. Quickly do that. Importance of locating testis outside the abdominal cavity. Online people, structure they say, sort of second section you have state the importance of locating testis outside the abdominal cavity. Right? 1 minute, please quickly do it. Benefits. So advantages of storing the testis outside the body. Why? Why do we keep it in a sack? Scrotum එකේ දාලා තියෙන්නේ මොකද? The testis. Yes. Well, importance of locating testis outside the abdominal cavity. So they have given some space, no? What do you have to say? The sperms are produced properly only when the testes are cooler than the rest of them. Sperms are produced properly only when the testes are cooler than the rest of the body. Alright. Then you can do what is the specific site of sperm production in man? No, before that, state the import. Write in correct order the pathway of sperms from testis to the urethra in man. Sperms yana පාර කියන්න බලන්න Google Maps දාලා වගේ, right? Turn this කියලා කියන්නේ, right? Google Maps එකේ, right? From testis to almost the same, right? Testis එකේ ඉඳලා මෙතනින් එළියට එන්න තමයි මේ full round එක ගහලන්නේ, right? So describe the pathway. Arrows, you can draw arrows, right? මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙතනට මෙතන. Yes. Online people, what is the pathway of the sperm from testis to the urethra? මේක බලන්න උනත් පුළුවන් නේද? What is the pathway? Okay, what is the pathway? I mean, there are something additional things. I mean, not wrong, but some things that are not actually involved in the pathway, right? So no need to. So yeah, okay. Testis to the epididymis, right? Testis again, and the epididymis again. Then from the epididymis, vas deferens up to here, right? So up from the vas deferens, what do you have? Ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct into urethra. That's it. Because why? it's going through the prostate, yes, but what is actually going through the prostate? The ejaculatory duct, right? So the ejaculatory duct is going through the prostate, yes, but the prostate is just in the path there. Ejaculatory duct is the path from here to here. Then you have the urethra that is going to come. Okay, simple. They are not going to give you negative marks. But yeah, no need to mention prostate. Okay. Then what is the specific site of sperm production in man? What is the specific site? Specific in a word very important. Can you see question number 3A, right? Structure is a third section, question number 3A. Yeah, online people. Specific site of sperm production. Yes. Seminiferous tubules of the testis. Yes. That is how you give a specific answer. Specific answer එකක් ඇහුවොත් specific answer එකක් දෙන්න. Right? So, okay. I think we will discuss. We don't have time to discuss spermatogenesis today. Let's finish at 4:30. Let's look at some anatomy and sort of revise the theory that we learned. Right? Quickly, we can do spermatogenesis and other accessory glands and the structure of sperm. Those are the things we have to do next week. I can do that within 1 hour. Then we can finish the anatomy of the female reproductive system within next week. And then another week, we can finish pregnancy. Reproduction done. So, that is the structure that we are going to follow, right? Is it too fast? Online people, too fast? No. Shape, right? Let's look at some diagrams and go home, right? But go home and study whatever you learned. And I have given you homework. Right? Compare the differences between sexual and asexual reproduction. So, online people also take a separate essay writing book, right? Collect your essays. Collect the essays you write in this class, and that collection of essays will be a proof for you that you have studied. Okay, it will be proof that you have studied enough. Right, සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දැන් A level වලට ගිහිල්ලා කියන්නේ usually essay paper එකට කලින් දවසේ එහෙම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ගොඩක් anxious හිතෙනවා, ගොඩක් බය හිතෙනවා, right? So something you can do to calm yourself down is look at the work you have done. ලියපු essays දිහා බලන්න පුළුවන්, right? කරපු papers දිහා. That's something that helped me to calm down, right? So this is sort of the external appearance. You don't need that, right? So here, this is what we call as the spermatic cord, right? Spermatic cord, can you see? This is what? Vas difference, right? This is the vas difference in the spermatic cord, and these are the arteries and the veins that are coming into the testis, right? This is a cross section of the penis that I told you, right? What are these? Erectile tissue, right? You need to know about erectile tissue, right? And this is very important, the urethra, right? You can see the arteries that are bringing blood, and you can see the veins that are going to be pressed. So the blood is coming in, blood is not going out, so the penis is going to stay erect. Alright, I don't need this. And this cross section is very important. You have two angles. Can you see? This is the bladder, no? This is the bladder, and this is from looking from front. Okay, so the prostate has been sliced, and this is the opening of the ejaculatory duct. Don't look at other names, okay? Monkey and right? Other names. So this is the opening of the ejaculatory duct into what? What is this? The urethra. Urethra is coming from the bladder, right? This is the ejaculatory duct opening, and then what are these? Bulbourethral glands, chutieva, and it is going into the penis. This is the very familiar cross section, right? මේ තියෙන මොකක්ද? Seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle එකේ ඉඳලා we have the ejaculatory duct coming into the urethra. This is what? පිටිපස්සෙන් යන්නේ කවුද? This is what the rectum, right? And this is the anus elite. Okay. And this is a behind view, right? මේ එන්නේ කවුද? Vas deferens එක, right? This is the seminal vesicle, and they both form the ejaculatory duct inside the prostate. Okay. This is again almost the same view, right? Prostate gland and the urethra going into the penis and opening to the outside. Okay. These are all hand drawn diagrams. I think here these are babies. Oh yeah, this is good. Nice. Can you see? In children, Chuti Babala like 11 weeks old, right? So I told you, in many babies, they are still inside, right? When they are born, in many babies, about 5 out of every 10 boys, the testes are still inside, right? So they are going to come about sometimes after about 4 months. See, they are coming down, right? The testes are coming down, right? So this is a cross section again. You can see the epididymis, right? You can see the epididymis here. This is the testis, right? What else? Oh yeah, there's a nice cross section of the testis, right? What is this one segment called? එක segment එකකට මොකද කියන්නේ? Testicular lobule. Testicular lobule. This is what? This is the seminiferous tubule, and this they are going to form. This is the epididymis, right? Can you see it's very long? Right? ඒක ඇත්තටම simple කරලා ඇඳලා තියෙන්නේ, right? So this is a real view. These are lobules, right? I think that's all I have to show you. This is an important diagram. Okay. Any questions? So homework, essay, right? Part A, significance of sexual and asexual reproduction. Write that essay as homework. You have any questions? Online people, you have any questions? Anything you have, you can ask, right? So next week you can also join free of charge, right? But then onwards we can sort of fix the class schedule, right? Any questions? No. Any feedback? Going too fast? All right. with your situation, we have to go fast, right? Only 10 months remaining, and molecular level go doctino, right? Micro, there's a lot to cover. Okay, genetics is also there, so that's a question. I mean, small lesson, but can ask some questions. Microbiology, right? There's a small final lesson 10, unit number 10, that is applied biology. From that also at least one MCQ every year, right? Sometimes a whole short note you can get from applied. Okay, so right, then we can finish for today. Board isn't much clear. Okay, right, we'll look into that. Okay, then okay, thank you for joining, online people. You can leave, right? Thank you. ගුලන්ටත් යන්න පුළුවන්. Okay. So where did you go previously? Uh-huh. So Abdullah Hasan, right? He's doing English medium.